UnDaoDu. UnDaoDu to you and yours. I am UnDaoDu. I am the prophesized one, the one who will usher in the fifth age, built on blockchain, that will usher in Bitcoin, the foundation of the global reserve currency. It's going to unravel fiat over the next 10 to 15 years. UnDAO. The blockchain, who was invented for ushering in DAOs that I called open corporations and open organizations run by AI. Out of his head, touching his forehead, comes the blockchain. What I shared with the founders of Ethereum back in 2011 to Michal Alisi. The image of Michal Alisi is of me looking through his computer to his keyboard in his mouse, a perspective of Skype, who then shared it, my work, my understanding, with the rabbit, Vitalik Buterin. The question you should ask yourself is, why is he the only one? Why is he the only one on the white paper when so many claim to be founders of Ethereum? Yet he is the only one. When the individual who he was working as a writer for, Matthew N. Wright, who is actually the CEO and founder of Bitcoin, who was blacklisted by BitTalk the same way Roger Ver was, had set out the angry cougar down on the right, staring at the ephemeral Satoshi. He hated Satoshi. He hated the community. He wanted to do something better and create something better than Bitcoin. There is Satoshi with Bitcoin hovering right there, right after. And Brock Pierce smiling at the cyberpunks, the radicals, right? The coders that wanted to bring down the IMF, wanted to bring down centralization, wanted to give the planet back to the people, for the people. But they needed the blockchain, a decentralized framework, computer framework, to do that, to take out the middle person. All I am doing is continuing the work of Satoshi Nakamoto, who in real life was Hal Finney, who worked for the CIA and FBI after he hacked Netscape. I'm not sure which one. He never went to jail for hacking Netscape. As a brilliant cryptographer working for he was part of the cyberpunks. His mentors were the cyberpunks. And you know the cyberpunks are still around. You know this is true. And he convinced the FBI and the CIA to basically code out, right, for him to work on this project. Now, I believe that he didn't call it Bitcoin, and I believe that what he was working on became the foundation of the code, and ultimately he released it without their permission and said, whoops, someone must have released it. I don't know who did it. It wasn't me, it was a Satoshi Nakamoto dude. I don't know, right? Somehow he hacked in the system. He probably hacked himself. He was clever to put Satoshi near him, right? Satoshi, what the hell is this Satoshi, the guy's name? In case his IP tracked back to him, there was someone that he could point to, right? He was very clever, Hal was. And Do on the back, staring out of the monitor, UnDaoDu, the distributive unconsciousness. The Do is the AI, is the T singularity. The Do that is being developed, right, as with deep learning and machine learning and smart contracts, is going to manage the fifth age. UnDaoDu. The great pump of 2020 is coming. It may have started. You can see the market. It's gone up $2,000 just in the last couple weeks. The great pump is coming of 2020. Change is coming. found ups unstoppable. And I'm going to tell you how found ups will work. I'm revealing to you now in 2020 how simple it is. Found ups is ubiquitous. Found ups is merely a startup on any blockchain owned by the people. They become DAOs, or what I call a DANO, a decentralized autonomous nonprofit organization, a DANO. And here's how it's unstoppable. The DApp will be a web app that anyone can download. The DApp will create the bank of your found up, right? You will write, this is my found up. My hemp found up is what I'm building right now. I'm testing it on. It will create a pool where the tokens will drop. No one will own these tokens. I won't own the tokens. No one will have access to these tokens. These tokens will exist basically in a private wallet, smart contract that is controlled and owned by the network. And they will release every 10 minutes, like Bitcoin, into a pool. Every time there's a transaction of the network, that pool is shared between the network and the CCC. The CCC being the creator, right? That's the innovator, the creator, and it could be the farmer too as part of the creator. The collaborators is the person that he's working with to bring his widget here. So the creator, the collaborator, and finally the customer or the consumer, right? Whoever's using the product, right? Who's ever using the found up. So you go to a flea market, there's literally thousands of found ups just ready to explode and become the next Google, the next Facebook, the next Amazon, all going to be tokenized with 17 million tokens that over a course of 10 years will drop. And as the network creates the value, just as the network created the value of Bitcoin, the network is going to create the value of these tokens. And here's the beautiful thing. A percentage of all these tokens, of all these found ups in the world, 4% are going to go into this Bitcoin Global Reserve Fund, right? I call it Bitcoin vaults. The Bitcoin vault is going to be like the Fort Knox that runs and turns all of these tokens ultimately into stable coins in 10 years. Because 4% of all these tokens, some of them will have value, some of them won't. Depends, right? Some of them will take off, some of them won't. I estimate about 97% will fail, won't take off. 97%. 97.5. 2.5% will become Bitcoins, will become the next Bitcoins. 2.5%. And they will become tremendous value. Now the AI, the smart contract, is going to sell off these, not all of them at once,